Tonight, you could be pulled over for something as small as a broken taillight. And within minutes, an officer may begin using psychological tactics designed to get you talking, consenting, or confessing without realizing it. Most people think police are only allowed to tell the truth. That is not how the real world works. In the United States, courts have repeatedly allowed police officers to use deception during interrogations and investigations. And while not every officer uses these tactics unfairly, you need to understand the game before you ever find yourself inside it. Because one wrong sentence, one nervous answer, one moment of panic can change your life forever. So tonight, we're breaking down 12 lies the police love to use, how these tactics work, and what you should legally do instead. And trust me, some of these are far more dangerous than most people realize. If you care about your rights, your freedom, and protecting yourself during police encounters, subscribe right now, because the truth they don't teach in school could save you one day. Let's begin. Number 1. We just want to clear things up. This is one of the most common lies used during questioning. It sounds harmless, friendly, almost helpful. But when officers say they just want to clear things up, what they often mean is they are gathering statements that can later be used against you. People hear this phrase and think, if I cooperate, I'll go home. So they start talking, they explain, they guess, they fill in gaps, and suddenly their own words become evidence. Here's the reality. You are never required to talk your way out of an investigation. In fact, innocent people frequently hurt themselves by speaking too much. A nervous contradiction can look like deception. A wrong timeline can look like guilt. A bad memory can look like lying. The safest response is calm and simple. I choose to remain silent and I want a lawyer. That sentence protects you far more than trying to sound innocent ever will. Number 2. If you didn't do anything wrong, you have nothing to hide. This line is pure psychological pressure. It's designed to make exercising your constitutional rights feel suspicious. But rights are not admissions of guilt. You lock your front door at night. That doesn't mean you're hiding something. You password protect your phone. That doesn't make you a criminal. The Fifth Amendment exists because people can be misunderstood, manipulated, or falsely accused. And the moment police convince you that using your rights makes you look guilty, you stop protecting yourself. Remember this carefully. Innocent people need lawyers too. Innocent people remain silent too. Innocent people refuse searches too. Your rights exist for everyone, especially when emotions are high and mistakes can happen. Number 3. Help us understand your side. This sounds reasonable, but it's often a trap. Police are trained interviewers. They know how to guide conversations, how to build emotional pressure, how to make you feel safe enough to keep talking. The problem is this. Anything you say can be twisted, misinterpreted, or taken out of context later. You may think you are helping yourself. Meanwhile, investigators may only hear inconsistencies. And once your statement is recorded, you cannot take it back. This is especially dangerous when people try to explain events from memory under stress. Human memory is imperfect. Fear changes perception. Time distortions happen. People accidentally guess details all the time. And prosecutors can later present those mistakes as lies. That's why defense attorneys constantly warn clients, never talk your way through an investigation without legal counsel. Number 4. We already know what happened. This tactic is meant to make resistance feel pointless. Officers may act confident, certain, like they already solved the case. Sometimes they even pretend they already have overwhelming evidence. And people panic. They think, well, they already know everything anyway. So they start filling in details, correcting investigators, trying to explain. But many times police are still fishing for information. They may not know nearly as much as they claim. Your words may actually become the missing pieces they needed. Never assume investigators are telling you the full truth about what they know. And never assume honesty from police questioning is legally required, because in many situations, it isn't. Number 5. Your friend already told us everything. This tactic destroys people psychologically. Humans fear betrayal. The moment someone thinks their friend, spouse, or co-worker already talked, panic sets in. People start confessing simply because they think silence no longer matters. But here's the truth. Police are often legally allowed to lie about evidence and witnesses during interrogations. That means investigators may falsely claim your fingerprints were found. We have you on camera. Your friend already confessed. Even when none of that is true. This is one reason false confessions happen more than people realize. Exhaustion, fear, pressure, and manipulation can push innocent people into terrible decisions. Never confess because you think somebody else already did. Never surrender your rights because officers claim they already know everything. Stay calm. Ask for a lawyer. Stop talking. Number 6. We can help you if you cooperate. This one is extremely dangerous. People hear this and believe officers have power to reduce charges or guarantee leniency. Sometimes they imply, things will go easier if you talk. You can help yourself right now. This is your chance. But officers generally do not control final prosecution decisions. Prosecutors do, judges do, and verbal promises made during questioning may mean absolutely nothing later. Worse, people often give up critical legal protections hoping for mercy that never comes. Cooperation without legal advice can destroy your defense before your lawyer even enters the case. That's why experienced attorneys say, never negotiate your future alone inside an interrogation room. Number 7. Just consent to the search and we'll be quick. This happens constantly during traffic stops. An officer asks, "You don't mind if I take a quick look, right?" The wording feels casual, polite, almost routine. But the moment you consent, you may waive major Fourth Amendment protections. And if officers find something illegal, even accidentally, your consent may make challenging the search far harder later. Many people consent because they feel intimidated. Others fear saying no makes them look guilty. But legally, refusing consent is not a crime. You can respectfully say, "I do not consent to searches." Simple, calm, non-aggressive, and extremely important. Number 8. We're trying to help you. Sometimes police position themselves like friends instead of investigators. They may lower their voice, act sympathetic, pretend to understand your stress, and emotionally, this lowers your guard. People naturally open up to those who seem compassionate, but never forget the reality of the situation. Investigators are collecting evidence. Their job is not primarily to protect your legal interests. That is your lawyer's job. This does not mean every officer is malicious. Not at all. But it does mean you should never confuse friendliness with legal protection. Friendly conversations can still become courtroom evidence. Number 9. This is your only chance to tell the truth. This tactic creates urgency and fear. It pressures people into talking immediately before thinking clearly. But you never lose your constitutional rights because you asked for a lawyer first, and silence cannot legally be used as proof of guilt in the way many people fear. Officers may try to make immediate cooperation feel like the only safe option, but rushed decisions inside stressful encounters often become life-changing mistakes. Take your time, stay calm, request counsel, because once words leave your mouth, you cannot pull them back. Number 10. We're on your side. This is another psychological strategy built around trust. Police may create a good cop dynamic where one officer acts aggressive while another acts supportive. The friendly officer becomes someone the suspect emotionally leans toward, and suddenly the suspect starts opening up, seeking reassurance, trying to gain approval. But remember, no investigator inside that room represents your legal defense. Only your attorney does. And the more emotionally vulnerable you become during questioning, the easier it is to manipulate your decisions. Interrogation rooms are designed around psychological pressure, isolation, stress, fear, confusion. That's why invoking your right to counsel matters so much. It changes the entire environment immediately. Number 11. If you ask for a lawyer, this gets worse. This statement terrifies people, especially young people. People fear looking guilty. They fear angering investigators. They fear escalation. But asking for a lawyer is one of the most legally protected rights in America. And once you clearly request counsel, questioning is supposed to stop in many circumstances. That's why some investigators try discouraging it before you invoke the right. Never let fear stop you from protecting yourself legally. Lawyers exist because the justice system is complicated. Even trained attorneys ask for lawyers when accused of crimes. Think about that carefully. Number 12. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. This phrase is designed to create fear and submission. It suggests resistance will bring punishment. That silence will somehow make things worse. That compliance is the only safe option. But emotionally charged pressure tactics often lead people into waiving rights they later desperately wish they had protected. The key during any police encounter is emotional control. Do not argue. Do not insult officers. Do not physically resist. But also do not surrender your constitutional protections out of fear. Stay respectful, stay calm, stay silent, and clearly request legal counsel if questioning becomes serious. Because the biggest mistake people make during police encounters is believing they can talk their way out of danger. Sometimes talking is exactly what creates the danger. Now listen carefully. This video is not anti-police. Good officers exist. Ethical investigators exist. And law enforcement plays an important role in society. But constitutional rights only matter if ordinary people understand how to use them. The justice system is not simply about truth, it's about evidence, statements, procedure, documentation, and strategy. That's why knowing these tactics matters, because once you understand psychological pressure, you become far less vulnerable to it. And one final thing, if police ever stop you, remember these 5 rules. Stay calm. Keep your hands visible. Do not physically resist. Do not consent to searches. And if questioning becomes serious, clearly say, "I am invoking my right to remain silent. I want a lawyer." Then stop talking completely. No explanations, no emotional speeches, no just one more thing. Silence is only powerful if you actually use it. If this video helped you understand your rights, subscribe right now. Because every week we break down the legal tactics, police encounters, constitutional rights, and real-world mistakes that ordinary people need to understand before it's too late. And trust me, the next thing police say during a stop may sound harmless, until you understand what it really means.